there's our predictions, and now we have a sad story to tell you guys.
What's the story?
Unfortunately, this is going to be the last episode of the Mac and Maj podcast.
We are very upset about it.
Where Mac promotes the iPad propaganda. I got you. See, that's what we call clickbait in the entertainment industry. Or what? That's not even clickbait.
I wonder if anyone noticed this whole podcast. If anyone looked at my side of the table.
Yeah. So last week you had the iPad.
Yes, I did.
So last week Mac had the iPad.
I had an iPad Pro, guys.
He had his iPad Pro, and now he has a MacBook. So let's go through this.
I don't know if I want to, but
let's go through it.
I have to.
So Mac, can you explain to the audience?
I'm going to say it in one sentence
why you
do
not recommend iPad Pro.
Do not buy the iPad Pro.
So Mac is on the record saying do not buy the iPad Pro. Now that we got all the drama shit out of the way,
let's talk.
Walk us through the process of why you made that decision.
Why? Because what I wanted to do is when Apple did their announcement of the new iPad Pro, I was excited that I would be able to get rid of my MacBook and only use the iPad because I wanted a touch screen. I wanted to use the Apple Pencil, which I got to use, and they are great. But I couldn't. It's not a laptop replacement.
So one thing that I was telling Mac and you know we were talking a little bit before this is so you have three major products. Let's call them three major products from Apple. Like in terms of that category, you have the iPhone, you have the iPad, and you have the MacBook, or maybe the iMac.
Mac.
What?
Mac.
Mac what? You?
No, it's called Mac. It's just called Mac.
Oh, it's called Mac.
MacBook, Mac. Book Air, MacBook Pro, iMac.
Yeah. So the Mac, the iPhone, the iPad.
Yes.
Okay. So this is what I said to Mac.
Me, Mac, not
Yeah. There's hella Macs. There's all types of Macs here. His name is Mac. Just
anyway, we have Mac. Yep,
okay.
Got it.
So forget the iPhone. Let's talk about the iPad and then Mac products. Okay. So I said prior to you getting this that an iPad has always been an in addition thing to me.
Yes.
If you want it. Now, if you have an iMac and you just want something portable, the iPad Pro is the way to go.
That's the point.
That's the way to go.
Exactly. Because you have an iPad Pro or an iPad, whatever it is. You're on the go.
Yeah, you can go wherever.
You do things on the iPad. When you come home, you have an iMac and it's there and you use it as a computer.
And if you have a MacBook, you just straight up don't need an iPad.
No.
For those types of purposes.
Can I tell you why? The two main reasons.
Hit me.
One is that you can't really do the multitasking that you can obviously on a laptop.
Yes.
Which is having like 7 windows at a time. You can have 18 at a time on the iPad.
Yeah.
But you can only see it full screen. And if you want to go back, you have to move it. And you can have 2 screens and then you can have the little side view.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Yeah. So that's the first reason.
The second reason is it weighs the exact same.
Really? With a magic keyboard and everything?
It just weighs the exact same.
So
that's if you get the 12-inch.
My question, to Mac was this. So when Mac got this, one of the things that I was very interested in because I became invested in this because I was thinking, okay, shit, am I behind the curve? I don't like being behind the curve. I am a curve guy. Anyway, I wanted to know, honestly, because if I could replace it with something portable and something that's more dynamic and more innovative, why not, right? So my question was, will the operating system be able to replace the Mac OS? And the answer was rocky.
Right now, no.
Right now, no. It might be able to.
So WWDC is this coming Monday, right? Mm-hmm. This is where they're supposedly going to unveil the new operating system that's going to go on the iPad.
Yeah.
I was supposed to wait for that announcement.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And hope to God it's just what I want. But I realize that it will never give me what I want. Which is Mac OS, basically. Essentially.
And that's what me and Mac were talking about. So
they're just not going to.
So here's this thing. If you're let's look at the product mix.
Sorry,
you have a Mac OS.
Wait. Go ahead. Sorry, they're going to improve it.
Oh yeah.
Substantially.
Substantially.
Very nice new things.
100%.
but it will not be a Mac.
Exactly.
Please,
and,
yes.
and this is what Mac and I were talking about. When you are purchasing an iPad Pro, keep this in mind. Apple is a business. They have 3 products. They have the Mac products, the iPad, and the iPhone. All 3 iOS. iOS for the phone. What's the OS called for iPad?
iPad OS.
iPad OS.
It's iOS essentially. but
Okay.
yeah.
And then you have the Mac OS. Okay. So the thing is why would Apple put the Mac OS on the iPad? Because
Right.
if they do that, people stop buying the Macs.
No, I get that. I didn't
No,
mean.
I'm more so talking to the audience.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna. What I mean by I want them to essentially give me Mac OS on iOS.
Yeah.
Meaning, just give me some like functionality
Yeah.
into it. You know what
So
I mean?
the multi-window functionality maybe would help.
Multi-window. Make it damn lighter. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing is, you can't expect them to run a different OS on another product, because then that product becomes obsolete, because the iPad is obviously the more dynamic and user friendly, assuming that it has the right OS.
Yes. And a third problem. This is a third problem what I didn't like about the iPad. I do a lot of Zoom calls. I do it.
Was it a nightmare?
It's a nightmare. I love, and you saw it because we used it together. Remember when I FaceTimed you?
Oh yeah,
It does the new center stage. Amazing.
yeah. Basically, auto focuses on the profile of the person.
One problem.
What's the problem?
Freaking Apple, put it up here.
Okay, so
Stop putting it on the side, or
they
have
put it
both.
on- okay, yeah, I see what you're
Because
saying.
you're always in the view of the camera,
You're always on the
in
side.
the screen. You're always like this.
Yeah,
You always look like this,
yeah.
and it's just
So my thing is yeah. I'm gonna write something down real quick.
just write it.
I'm just gonna write this down real
It
quick.
just looks bad.
It's a bad look. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so I just wrote that down.
Okay.
We're gonna get that taken care of for
Please.
you, buddy. You guys won't even know what happened.
Forget it.
Okay, so the other thing is Apple can't really, like, there's a select group of people that don't want the iPad to look like a Mac. They want it to look like an iPad, because if you give your child an iPad,
Yeah, but I look.
it's gonna confuse the shit out of them.
Yeah. So I blame.
If it has a Mac OS.
I blame Apple for this.
Okay,
Why? Because
let's blame them.
they wanna feed me the iPad and convince me that I don't need this anymore.
Which is awful marketing.
Very bad marketing. So I think they're having trouble. I honestly believe Apple is having trouble
100%.
putting the iPad between a phone and a laptop.
A lot of trouble. You could tell. You
Yeah.
could tell they're having a lot of trouble, because the reason why is that there's a gap between the Mac OS and the iPad OS that they cannot bridge, because then they lose a select group of users that want the iPad OS.
Yes, and a problem that I had with the iPad, and you know this,
Yeah.
because we did this last week, and I had a terrible nightmare with editing our podcast
Yeah.
and uploading it to YouTube.
Yeah, if you guys were paying attention, our shit uploaded a little late last week.
Yeah, and that was the reason. Is because I was doing it on the iPad Pro.
And it didn't even work. We had to end up using mine.
Exactly.
My MacBook.
We had to go back to his. MacBook.
So Mac, can you officially say that you are not an iPad guy for the time being?
For the time being, they're not there,
Yeah,
and
just
I
ignore
don't, and I don't know, and I don't know if there will ever be.
I don't,
Because I feel like I told you, I feel like they're in this like little limbo stage where what the hell do we do with iPad?
I agree. I completely
They
agree
did
with you.
insane stuff with it. Like they put the M1 chip in there,
Completely
but an
agree.
M1 chip in
It doesn't solve the fundamental problem.
it doesn't. It's not going to solve. Okay, it's fast. Fast for what?
Yeah.
You didn't
So you know
fix
what?
it.
My bold prediction is that you will be able to eventually.
Maybe it's this year. That's what I'm saying. So I think Apple always does this historically, right? What they do is they build the machine. Later, they give you the software for it,
Yeah.
the operating system.
Yeah, they do it all the time.
So now in the WWDC, they're going to give us an operating
Monday.
system, which
Monday
is Monday,
the 7th, I think.
Monday the 7th. They're gonna give us something.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't really believe they're going to give us anything that you can say, okay, throw this in the garbage.
I agree, and we'll have a recap of that next week. So tune in next week if you want to see our recap of the WWDC event. I think with that being said, I think we're good.
I'm good, man.
Yeah, this has been a good podcast. We
get the iPad.
don't get the iPad. We got everything we want out the way. We appreciate you guys. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe on every platform
As always.
at Mac and Maj on Instagram. Feel free to follow. Feel free to like all of our pictures. Hit us with a few spicy DMs if you want.
Come on, guys.
Come on, guys. All right, guys. Well, we will see you guys next week. We appreciate everything you do. Signing off.
See ya.